Last night, the Cubs got the homestand off to a great start with solid pitching, clutch hitting, and speed on the bases. Tonight, Randy Wells will try to keep it going as the Northsiders go for 2 in a row. It's the Brewers and the Cubs next. From the north side of Chicago, another cool but nice clear evening here in Chicago. We're set for Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Game 2 of a 4-game series as the Cubs host the team now tied for first in the Central, the Milwaukee Brewers. Hi again, everyone. Along with Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs a nice 1-0 winner last night, their second 1-0 win of the season. Bob, we've got guys now returning to the roster. Reed Johnson activated from the DL today. Blake DeWitt's gotten a lot of playing time in left field, but with Alfonso Soriano coming back maybe by tomorrow, his time may be cut, but he's done a really nice job.
Well, his time may be cut in left field, but he could see time at other positions. That's what makes Blake DeWitt so valuable to the ball club. Most of his playing time has come in his career in the infield, especially at third base. You may remember he lost out in the competition for the second base job in spring training to Darwin Barney, but didn't let it affect his game. He waited for his opportunity, and when he got it, he's taken full advantage of it. Not only is he doing a nice job in the starting lineup over his last 14 ball games, but he also has 6 pinch hits, which is tied for the major league lead.
And Blake is in there again tonight playing left. Darwin Barney getting the night off. He tweaked his knee on that slide at home plate, but should be available off the bench, so it's Jeff Baker at second. Giovanni Gallardo will go for Milwaukee. He's had an up-and-down season. Boy, he had a great stretch of 6 wins in a row before a loss his last time out.
Yeah, pretty ugly in his loss last time out in 4 innings. Gave up 10 hits and 4 runs to the New York Mets. As you said, though, that followed a 6-game winning streak when he was very good.
And I think it's a big start for Randy Wells. He's been up and down as well. A long DL stint as he makes his 5th start of the year.
Don't mean to wham it, but his last 2 starts have gone into extra innings. Last time had the plug pulled early because of a long rain delay. Couldn't go back out and take the ball. Randy needs to keep the ball down against this Brewers offense.
So Gallardo for the Brewers, Wells for the Cubs, and we're feeling patriotic on Flag Day 2011. The Brewers and the Cubs are next.
Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. 75 years of being right here in Illinois means no one's closer to your wellness. Experience wellness everywhere. Subway. Every day at Subway, choose from many delicious regular footlong subs for just $5. Subway. Eat fresh. Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today or go to shophonda.com and find great values on a new Honda. AT&T Ubers. Find out more of what's possible at att.com. AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates.
Beautiful shots of downtown Chicago. We're on the north end of town here at Wrigley Field. And let's look in on Ron Renicke's Milwaukee Brewers Southwest starting lineup. Shutout last night for the 6th time here in 2011. Weeks will lead it off. Morgan with his first action of this series. Braun and Fielder in the middle. Casey McGee, the former Cub, at third. It's Hart and right. Betancourt, the shortstop. Lucroy, the catcher, and Gallardo, the Silver Slugger winner last year in the National League.
Take a look at the Cubs Suzuki defense. It'll be DeWitt in left field. Reed Johnson recently activated off the disabled list. He'll be out in center field. Kosuke Fukudome once again in right field. Ramirez, Castro, Baker, and Pena across the infield, third to first. Giovanni Soto doing the catching tonight for our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher, right-hander Randy Wells. Mentioned in the open, his last outing against the Philadelphia Phillies was very short. Rains came down. Well, actually, the wind came first, and then the rains came. But after an hour and 17-minute rain delay, both managers felt that neither of the starting pitchers should go back out to the mound. So the plug was pulled on Randy Wells, hoping to work much deeper into the ball game tonight.
Good to see Ed Rapuano, the crew chief, back in action tonight. He left early last night. Nothing too serious, and he's ready to go, working at second base. Alfonso Marquez back at the plate in game 2 of this 4-game set. Brewers were held to just 4 hits and none over the final 4 innings last night as Ricky Weeks leads off the game with a first pitch single into left. Well, we don't know what's going to happen the rest of the night. We can tell you Randy Wells will not throw a no-hitter.
Yeah,
that we know.
By the boards already. And we mentioned it in the open. Randy has to stay down. Sinker, slider, changeup, his 3 best pitches all need to be worked across the bottom of the strike zone in order for him to be effective.
Nyjer Morgan. Always a threat to bunt, especially in this spot, and Ramirez already way in at third. Similar conditions to last night. 65 degrees, but the wind much stiffer tonight out of the east at 14. As Morgan pops it up. Starlin Castro makes a catch. And one away, that'll bring up Ryan Braun.
Last night, a very gentle breeze blowing straight in from center field had an effect on some of the drives that were hit to the warning track in the game last night. And as you said, Len, much stiffer wind blowing in tonight. When in doubt, throw it up and out over the plate and take your chances.
Braun with a single and a steal in the first inning, but without a hit the rest of the way. He went 1 for 4. And he takes that pitch high for ball 1. Cubs getting this week-long homestand off to a good start with that 1-0 win. Currently in the 4th of a 5-series stretch against teams that are over 500.
I think everybody in the ballpark was a little shocked last night. You mentioned Ryan Dempster and the bullpen really shutting down this Brewers offense. They had been hammering the ball coming into this series. Ryan Dempster was really good last night.
Samardzija and Marmol with scoreless innings to close it out. Dempster got a no decision, but another quality outing against Milwaukee, a team he's dominated in his career. Long pause by Wells before he tosses to first. Then, Bob, another day and more roster moves. You mentioned Reed Johnson is back off the disabled list. Tyler Colvin option to AAA. He's just going to go down and play every day. Also, right-hander Chris Carpenter, who started the year at AAA, was demoted to AA, got it together. He's here. He had been working in relief. And Casey Coleman's going to go back to AAA and pitch every 5th day as a starter. And his charge in that spot is to do what Randy Wells is supposed to do here, keep the ball down. It's Coleman's #1 priority. And no, the Cubs did not trade for the Cardinals ace and demoted him to AA. It's the other Chris Carpenter.
At some point in the very near future, we could conceivably have a Chris Carpenter versus Chris Carpenter matchup against the Cardinals.
3-1 with weeks going, and Braun just got a piece of it.
As you mentioned, the Cubs' Chris Carpenter will be pitching out of the bullpen for now, but has been a starting pitcher at times in his minor league career out of Kent State University.
You'd imagine Weeks will be running again on the 3-2. He is. And Braun lifts it high in the air for Reed Johnson. Weeks back to first, 2 outs. Follow all of tonight's stats and info in real time with Cubs in-game live only at CSNChicago.com. Brought to you by Honda. Light jacket weather once again tonight as Prince Fielder will dig in. Cubs overshift to the right on the infield, and the outfielders are playing very deep, even with the wind blowing in. Just missed the outside corner on a fastball at 89. Fielder could have taken all of his plate appearances last night without a bat. He walked twice, struck out twice. I guess you could swing and miss, but he did not put a ball in play.
I think you'd pitch him a lot differently if he went up to the plate without a bat.
I would think you would.
Be a little more aggressive in the strike zone. Because when he's got that chunk of wood in his hand, he's one of the most dangerous hitters in the game.
Weeks faked towards second, and Fielder just missed one. Towering fly to right. Major hang time as Fukudome made the catch. He about hit that one to the moon, straight up in the air. Cubs coming up from Wrigley. Manufactured 1 run last night, and it was enough. Fukudome, Castro, and Ramirez at the top, with Pena cleaning up, DeWitt in left. Giovanni Soto catches. Jeff Baker's second straight start off the DL. Reed Johnson activated today, and Randy Wells, the pitcher, hitting 9th.
Take a look at the Brewers defensively tonight. Ryan Braun in left, Niger Morgan in center, Corey Hart over in right field. It'll be McGee, Betancourt, Weeks, and Fielder across the infield, third to first. Jonathan Lucroy doing the catching tonight for right-hander Giovanni Gallardo. You'll see a fastball in the low to mid-90s from Gallardo, as a curveball and a slider. Rarely throws a straight changeup. Depending on which breaking ball is working better on a given night, he'll go to it more often.
"25 years old, 6'2", 210. Milwaukee's opening day starter for the second consecutive season. And last year, for the second straight year, he was the Brewers' most valuable pitcher. Kosuke with an awkward looking swing, strike 3. Gallardo is a strikeout pitcher. He and Teddy Higuera, the only Brewer pitchers ever with consecutive 200 strikeout campaigns.
It's the hard slider working its way down and underneath the hands of Kosuke Fukudome, who cannot check his swing. Will go down on strikes. I mentioned Gallardo throws both the curve and the slider. If he has both of those breaking pitches working, that's the nights when he can be really dominating out there on the mound.
Castro last night led off. He's hitting second tonight, and he greets Gallardo with a solid single into right.
Good to see some instant feedback. I watched Starlin Castro take batting practice today, and he was really concentrated on driving the ball up the middle into the opposite field. And then the first at bat of the ball game, you get the instant results with a base hit through the hole in the right side.
Gallardo's had a lot of success early on in his major league career. Being the ace of his staff, especially this year, means a lot. Guys like Sean Markham and Zach Greinke, the newcomers, veteran Randy Wolf. Ramirez hitting third for the first time this season. The 6th Cub to bat in the 3 spot. Fastball inside. At 93, it's a ball and a strike. The best numbers in this lineup against Gallardo all belong to the top 3 hitters in the lineup. Kosuke, Castro, and Ramirez fouled right at the plate. Got a piece of Jonathan Lucroy. Gallardo was born in Mexico, now makes his winter home in Fort Worth, Texas. Went to high school in Texas as well, Trimble Tech. And here's the pitch. Golfed high in the air by Ramirez. And it's Betancourt to make the play. 2 outs.
Hey fans, don't miss the action as the Cubs host these Brewers tomorrow right here at Wrigley Field. Game time is 7:05, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs rally towel, compliments of Gatorade. For more information and to purchase tickets, as always, visit Cubs.com.
There's Carlos Pena, whose pinch hit double was the key hit in the game last night. Darwin Barney had a 1-out single. Pena drove a ball to deep left. Ryan Braun went back to the vines, could not haul it in. Barney would end up at third and would score on the Ramirez ground out. Actually wasn't a ground out, it was a fielder's choice. As the throw went to the plate and it was late, and a lot of people wondering why Ron Roenicke, the Brewer manager, didn't have left-hander Zach Braddock up when Mike Quade decided to insert Pena into the game. Now the answer is Ron Roenicke doesn't match up a lot in those spots as Castro takes off and Pena fouls back. Cameron Lowe, Bob, was in the game to basically get the 8th inning. So from the Brewers' perspective, it was not out of the ordinary that he didn't consider getting up Braddock and or bringing him in. But as we watch the game, we are very aware, and I know Ron Roenicke knows the splits, of Carlos Pena's struggles versus lefties. And it really made the decision for Mike Quade very simple. Nobody up in the pen. I know it's going to be a righty on the mound. I'm going to get Pena into the game as he strikes out. We'll get into it a little bit more when we come back. Boy, a lot of stuff to talk about as always after a 1-0 game. 0-0 here tonight.
The squeeze with Randy Wolf, the pitcher, at the plate. He bunted through the ball. The ensuing rundown was not a work of art. Almost a bad throw there by Ryan Dempster. A good play by Starlin Castro to keep the ball in play. Ultimately, the Cubs do get the tag out at third base, but look how many players are involved. That's the left fielder, the center fielder, the second baseman, the pitcher, the catcher, and just out of your screen to the right is everybody else on the Cubs defense. Freeze Cam is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
A lot of interesting angles to that. There's Randy Wolf. Not a great bunter. It was a 3-1 pitch. Ron Roenicke thought Dempster's going to throw one down the middle, as he did on the 3-0 pitch. Casey McGee leading off the second tonight. Twice before this season, the Brewers executed a suicide and a safety squeeze, so they were 2 for 2. We talked about how aggressive Roenicke likes to be. The other part of it is Tony Campana, Bob, was chomping at the bit to get involved, because if he had caught one of those throws, he just would have outrun Betancourt.
Run down over.
Yeah. He's the only guy who easily could have done that. But as Mike Quade said, and he was not thrilled with how many throws, he said that felt like, because the runner got caught right in the middle and stopped, that felt like a 2 to 3 throw rundown. But once you start getting beyond that, the margin for error increases dramatically in terms of bobbling or dropping one of the throws.
Well, because every throw is usually made with the runner in motion, chasing the runner, or rather the defender chasing the runner that's caught in the rundown. The guy that's receiving the throw ideally is closing ground, so he's moving as well. Everybody's moving on that play.
Nice play by Ramirez on the short hop as he gets Casey McGee. But you had that play, and going back to the Cubs 8th when they got their run. That's why I love a 1-0 game. I mean, we could sit here for an hour and go over all the different managerial moves. I thought Ron Renicky putting Ricky Weeks right in the middle of the diamond was a smart maneuver, even though Barney still beat the throw to the plate. There's a lot of good stuff to chew on.
And the best thing of all, especially for the Cubs fans, is the fact that Darwin Barney got a great break off of third base. He was going on contact. And even though you know you're supposed to break on contact, your natural instinct is see where the ball's hit before you break for home plate. But Darwin did not do that. As soon as contact was made at the plate, he was off like a shot at third base, and that was the difference in the play at home.
He did bang his left knee on the slide to the plate. And out of the lineup tonight, but is available if needed off the bench. Corey Hart couldn't hold up. 1-2. Another chopper to Ramirez. No, a newborn Cubs fan. The Newborn Fan Club is the perfect gift to showcase what it means to be a Cub for life. Receive a customized photo announcing the birth on the Wrigley Field marquee, a Cubs birth certificate, Cubs baby stocking cap, and a Cubs Rookie of the Year onesie. Perfect for parents and friends alike. Visit Cubs.com for more info and to sign up today. Yuniesky Betancourt drives it out into the gap. And a sliding play by Blake DeWitt, and Betancourt has to put on the brakes. Nicely done by Blake DeWitt. That keeps Betancourt out of scoring position with 2 outs.
A very nice play by Blake DeWitt. That's where his infielder instincts take over. That ball looked like it was headed for the ivy, but as Blake got closer, he says, hey, this is just like third base. Hard ground ball to my left. I'm going to dive or slide in this case, knock it down, make sure it doesn't get past me. And because of that, Betancourt still at first base, not in scoring position. Nice play.
Brings up the catcher, Lucroy. Will Nieves started last night. Lucroy would pinch hit late and strike out. Stayed in the game behind the plate. Pitch was up. Diving stop. Castro. Throw to first. Boy, almost threw it out of play. Fortunately, it hit the barrier. And it's a single for Lucroy and an error on Castro, allowing Betancourt to move from second to third.
Not a bad attempt that time by Starlin Castro. You've got the opposing catcher running down the first baseline. If there was ever a time to make an effort to throw from this particular position and try to get the out at first, it's right here. Unfortunately, Starlin didn't have a real good grip on that ball, and it sailed over the head of Carlos Pena, striking the facing of that first base dugout.
Now Gallardo is far from an automatic out. 9 career home runs. He's hit 1 this season. 4 last year when he won the Silver Slugger Award for the best hitting pitcher in the National League.
Well, with the runner at third base, you're going to pitch every pitcher like he's a good hitter. But you're absolutely right about Gallardo. He knows what he's doing up there at the plate.
Back-to-back 2-out singles. As it's top foul. Right. National Mustache Fan Club in attendance here.
Cookie dusters there. Yeah. Former president.
Swing and a miss. He got him on a breaking ball to end the inning. First strikeout for Randy Wells. Scoreless after an inning and a half. Bulls revisit a legendary year in Chicago sports. Catch interviews from Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, Stacey King, and of course MJ himself. Inside Look, the 91 Bulls, Friday at 7, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Cubs will send Blake DeWitt, Giovanni Soto, and Jeff Baker up against Gallardo, who got a no decision against the Cubs in Milwaukee on April 10th. He gave up 4 runs in that game in just 5 innings. For Gallardo tonight, this is his 100th career appearance. Strike 1 on DeWitt. Gallardo had a stretch beginning with his 3rd start of the year. It was the one I just referenced against the Cubs. Stretch of 5 starts with an 8.89 ERA. But since then, his ERA just over 2 over his last 7, and that includes his last outing wasn't particularly good. Fly ball to left for Ryan Braun. Everything that way is going to be pushed toward the foul line. And 1 away.
Perhaps early on, Gallardo might have been feeling some extra pressure with Zach Greinke on the disabled list, Sean Markham not available early in the season. And as you mentioned, Gallardo has been the ace of this team for the last 3 or 4 seasons. He probably put a little bit too much pressure on himself to go out there and try to dominate. But now that they have their full complement back in action in that starting rotation, he's just another piece of what is rapidly becoming a really good starting rotation.
All righties from here on out until the bottom of the order. Soto, Baker, Johnson, and the pitcher Wells. One-two pitch, low and outside. Milwaukee not afraid to overshift toward the left against a pull hitter from the right side. You see Ricky Weeks almost behind the pitcher. He got him on the outside corner. And a fastball at 94. Soto's telling Alfonso Marquez, make sure my guy gets that call too.
The Brewers don't shift quite as much when last night's starter Randy Wolf is on the mound, because he needs to use all of his pitches, including a fastball in the low 90s and a straight changeup. And when a guy has a huge disparity in his pitches, it makes it tougher to overshift defensively. But Gallardo on the mound tonight, everything he throws is pretty hard, including his breaking pitches, so the Brewers feel a little more comfortable going into that exaggerated shift.
Baker came off the DL yesterday. He swings and misses. Had the strained groin. And I always defer to Dennis Miller when talking about groin strains. I think he was doing Monday Night Football, and there was a reference to a minor groin strain, and he said, is there ever really anything minor about that area in terms of an injury?
Only if it happens to somebody else.
Yeah. Two, just off the inside corner, and a full count. Reed Johnson on deck. Tomahawked, and it's slicing, but Morgan will get there to end the inning. Cubs go down in order in the second. 0-0 after 2. Northside Baseball Viewing Party. Come by the full shilling at 3724 North Clark in Wrigleyville to win prizes. Enjoy Coors Light and watch the Northsiders take on New York. Be there Friday at the full shilling in Wrigleyville. We have to stop in after the game on Friday. I think the neighborhood will be a little busy when the Yankees come in this weekend. Ricky Weeks led off the game with a first pitch single. Unfortunately, Derek Jeter will not get his 3,000th hit at Wrigley Field. In fact, he's going to be stuck on 29.94 for at least 2 weeks. Yankees put him on the DL today with a strained right calf. That's a bummer. I think a lot of people, even if you're a Cub fan, they were excited to at least see potential history being made. And you know what? A future Hall of Famer, this may be the last and in some cases only chance to see Derek Jeter in person at Wrigley Field.
Oh, what a tremendous career he has had. Yeah, in a lot of respects, Len, he was a little like Chipper Jones in the fact that he went to the World Series his first year in the major leagues, and seems like just about every year after that as well. It became part of the season. The season didn't end at the end of September. They continued to play into October. Derek Jeter didn't know any better most of his career. He didn't realize that the majority of major league players go home when the regular season's over.
Weeks is 2 for 2.
Chipper Jones, right out of that same mold down there in Atlanta. They had that string of 14 consecutive playoff appearances. Chipper didn't realize that most players go home at the end of the regular season.
Well, I've got some Jeter numbers that are just boggling, mind-boggling. First of all, when you look at his rate stats in the postseason versus the regular season, they're very similar. I think what that tells you is he's had a lot of opportunities. He's hit .309 in 147 postseason games. Bob, he's had 679 plate appearances. He's had a full season of baseball in October and beyond. They better hurry. The bobble, and threw it away. Weeks will be stopped by Ed Cedar at third. Just a slight bobble by Wells, and it was too late. With the way Morgan runs, and then he airmailed it. That'll be a hit and an error. The Cubs have committed 2 errors here early on.
Boy, this one had disaster written all over it. Carlos Pena got caught up in no man's land. Jeff Baker, the man responsible for covering first base, got over there in good shape, but Randy Wells, you can see right there the ball rattling around in his glove, never has a good grip on it. Tries to make that backhanded toss, which is iffy when you have a good grip on the baseball, and unfortunately flings it over near the tarp on the first base side.
So trouble for Wells, and this is where you get down to inning management. You try to limit that damage with the middle of the order coming up.
Well, ideally, you find a way to retire Ryan Braun without advancing those runners. At least it gives you the option of walking Prince Fielder to set up a potential double play ball.
Not going to happen. So the Brewers get their first run of the series. It's 1-0 on the RBI hit by Braun, his 49th RBI of the season. Among the league leaders, and everybody chasing the guy coming up, Prince Fielder with 58.
A slight shift by Castro over toward the hole between third and short, and unfortunately Braun hit it in the position where Starlin would normally be.
First and third now. They overshift again against Fielder. Castro on the other side of second base. 1 ball, no strikes. Finish a thought on Derek Jeter. 173 career plate appearances and a .321 average in the World Series. I don't know what the percentage is, but 38 World Series games, probably more World Series experience than 8 or 9%, if not more, of the players who've ever played at this level. And that's right at the top.
Yep.
7 World Series.
And Jeter, probably more so than any player of his era, had that ability to slow the game down. when everybody around him was panicking, their hearts were beating faster, they were making silly defensive plays, Derek Jeter always seemed to be the guy on the field that had everything under control. The game just always seemed to be a little slower for him than for everybody else, especially on the defensive side of the game. He just had better luck in his dating life. Goodness gracious.
Pop foul as Fielder got the green light on 3-0. It's been a tough third inning here. Well, Randy Wells. Runner goes, that's Braun. It's ball 4, and that loads the bases. The new Bud Light Bleachers series provides fans with exciting new opportunities in the Bud Light Bleachers this season, including free T-shirt Mondays, $3 12-ounce draft Bud and Bud Light Tuesday nights, and $1 Vienna Beef Hot Dog Wednesdays. Tuesday night special also available in select locations in the Seating Bowl. And for more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. The two guys who know each other pretty well. Wells and McGee. Castro on the dive and the flip to Baker. They get one. McGee will get an RBI on the fielder's choice as Morgan scores. It's 2-0. The Cubs just needed an out and they got one.
A diving play by Starlin Castro, at least for the time being, saved a run. That ball headed for center field. Looked like Braun was going to be able to score easily from second base, but when Castro was able to get there and shovel onto Jeff Baker for the force play, Braun has to stop at third base.
Now Wells wants that double play ball to get out of it with fairly limited damage. Low and inside to Corey Hart. Big series in Detroit. The Indians and the Tigers starting that set essentially tied for first in the AL Central. And a great pitching matchup tonight. Justin Masterson and Justin Verlander. Verlander with a no-no through 6. 3-0 Detroit as they go to the 7th. Can he throw another one? 10 strikeouts for Verlander. I was going to say he's really on tonight, but we don't watch him a lot, but it seems like he's on quite a bit.
Yeah, pretty much every time he takes the ball.
2 no-hitters in his career, including one this season at Toronto. The other one against this Milwaukee team back in 2007. At the knees, 2-1. Overcast, but very pleasant tonight. Wind coming in off the lake. A little harder than last night. Slider missed. It's 3-1. Betancourt on deck. And that loads him up yet again.
I'd like to think that was a strategic walk once he fell behind in the count to Corey Hart and had the very free swinging Betancourt in the on-deck circle. If he can execute a pitch, it doesn't even have to be in the strike zone right here. Betancourt is uber aggressive up there at the plate. He's going to swing at anything close. Just keep it down around the edges of the zone. See if you can't get that double play ground.
Pitching coach Mark Riggins chatting with Wells and Soto. Full slate of games tonight, and you know, Brewer fans keeping an eye on the Cardinals. Cub fans always want to know what their arch rivals are up to, and I would say in both teams' cases they're not too thrilled to know the Cardinals are ahead 6-1 in the bottom of the 5th in Washington tonight. Cardinals and Brewers are tied with identical 38 and 29 records, leading the division. Caught the outside corner. As you look in on the AT&T U-verse multi-view, Braun the lead man at the bottom. McGee and Hart at second and first respectively, and Betancourt pops it up. Carlos Pena will make the grab. 2 down. And a first pitch strike. Lucroy with an infield hit in the second. There it is. Fly to left, and DeWitt will make the catch. So he does limit the damage somewhat. They get a couple and lead 2-0 midway in the third. A question: where do the fielder's father-son combo rank in total home runs? Kind of an interesting question. Prince Fielder with 211 career home runs. His dad could hit him a long way as well. Cecil fielder. Hit 319 in his career. So you got to believe they're among the top 4 or 5 of all time.
Had some fun with this one over the dinner table.
Yeah, we did. Reed Johnson is back, and it's been a circuitous route back. No pun intended. He did have back problems, and that's why he went to the DL in the first place. But it wasn't the back that kept him kind of in limbo. That's a fair ball. Bounced into the left field corner. Braun will pick it up, and Johnson has a standing double. Very dangerous situation for Reed on Saturday with Iowa. He got hit in the helmet by a pitch in the low 90s. You see a nice shiner working, and he had to get clearance not only from the Cubs medical staff but from MLB as well. A lot of paperwork had to be done because of the fact he got hit in the head, and he got the go-ahead I think during batting practice to come off the DL.
Yeah, I don't believe the roster move was made until after Reed took BP today, and as you said, got the ultimate clearance from Major League Baseball that he could resume activities again. Randy Wells now looking to put down his first sacrifice bunt of the season and move Reed Johnson to third base. You certainly understand Major League Baseball and all sports for that matter and their concern over concussions and the severity and how long that can last. It's been career ending in some players' cases. But I got to tell you, once you've had a concussion and have to go through the testing procedure, like Reed Johnson said, I couldn't do some of those things before I got hit in the head.
I think one of the questions is you have to do the months, the 12 months backwards. Not literally spell the words backwards, but December, November, October, et cetera, et cetera.
See, you would be cleared to play. I don't know if I'd ever be able to step foot on the field if I have to do too many things backwards. A hard enough time remembering them forwards.
Wells bunts foul and can't get it done, as that's a strikeout. And here's Kosuke, who has hit .320 in his career with 7 homers against Milwaukee and 151 at bats. Right down the middle, strike one.
It seems funny sometimes, Len, the perception that an opposing team has for the players on your team. And when we play against the Milwaukee Brewers in the past few years, all people want to talk about is Kosuke Fukudome and Ryan Theriot, a guy that killed the Brewers over the course of his career. Didn't matter if Aramis Ramirez was red hot, Alfonso Soriano in the midst of a home run streak. It didn't make any difference. The two players they were most worried about were Fukudome and Theriot.
One got away from Gallardo a bit, 2-1. Justin Verlander, he's through 7 as the Tigers bat in the home half, 3-0. And the Indians with no hits. Oh. 2-2. Mentioned at Cardinal game, 6-1, and now the 6th inning at Washington. Pujols and Berkman have both gone deep behind Jaime Garcia. Florida Marlins, I think, happy to hit the road. Won't be easy there at Philadelphia, but they just went 1-10 on an 11-game homestand. They're trailing 2-1 in the third.
Ouch.
This is going to hold up for Morgan. Ryan Howard with a 2-run homer in the first inning, so he stays hot. Now the Marlins are under 500. They've lost 13 of their last 15. In the midst of this stretch, they fired their hitting coach.
It's getting to be that time of year. The Houston Astros fired their pitching coach today.
Yeah, Brad Arnsberg replaced on an interim basis by former Astro pitcher Doug Brocail, who was a special assistant to the general manager Ed Wade. Houston won 8-3 over Atlanta yesterday. Hunter Pence going into the game tonight against the Pirates has a 23-game hitting streak. He had a day off Sunday due to some lower back tightness. Got back in the lineup yesterday, had 3 hits, a homer, a walk, knocked in 4. Bob, I don't know what it is about Gallardo's delivery, but the Cubs hitters normally pretty aggressive. They've taken maybe 4 or 5 fastballs right down the chute. Is that because of his array of pitches? I mean, he has a good curveball. You mentioned the slider. Doesn't use the changeup much, but we've seen a lot of fastballs. There's a slider at 89.
Some pitchers just have a delivery that lends itself well to hiding the ball from the hitter. And guys, as you said, who are normally very aggressive, if you can't see the ball, you're not going to be as aggressive. And I think maybe that's why the Cubs have taken some hittable pitches in the early going here tonight.
The 1-2. And Castro with that emergency swing on a pitch that was out of the zone, just able to tap it foul.
If you watch Gallardo as he starts his delivery toward home plate, he really has a high front side. If you watch his glove and his left arm, he kind of throws it up in the air right there, and that's a little deceiving to a hitter. It's tough to pick the ball up coming out of that right hand when you're distracted by that high left side. Chris Young, formerly of the Padres, now with the Mets, I believe. He's a guy that really features that high front side, very deceiving for a hitter.
Two on the way. He's run it full. Ramirez on deck. Johnson started the inning with a double. He is still at second, and there are 2 outs. Should cap the pitching coach news today. Brad Arnsberg fired, as Bob mentioned, and Mark Connor has stepped down for personal reasons as the Orioles pitching coach. So their bullpen coach, Rick Adair, will take over, and former hitting coach Terry Crowley will be the interim bullpen coach. Bounce to Betancourt, and the Cubs waste the leadoff 2-base hit. It's 2-0 Brewers at the end of 3 here in Game 2 of this series. from Taco Bell. Open 1 a.m. or later. Giovanni Gallardo will lead off for the Brewers, who got a couple in the third off Randy Wells. Gallardo gave up on that pitch early and took it for ball one.
It's about the third or fourth time in the game already that Randy Wells has not liked the baseball. And they're not all the same. There's quite a variation in the I guess the circumference of the ball. Sometimes the seams are a little higher on one baseball than the other, and pitchers can tell immediately. Randy Wells has chunked a couple of those balls over to the first base dugout and asked for a new one from home plate umpire Alfonso Marquez. In the rule book, it says that a baseball shall weigh not less than 5 nor more than 5 1/4 ounces. Well, a quarter-ounce difference is a considerable difference for a guy who makes his living throwing a baseball. Also, it says it should measure not less than 9 nor more than 9 1/4 inches in circumference. So once again, 1/4 of an inch in circumference makes a big difference in the hands of a guy who throws a baseball for a living.
Just missed on the fastball, and that's a dreaded leadoff walk to the pitcher. Let's answer the AT&T trivia question. We're trying to place the fielders, Cecil and Prince, among the great father-son home run combos of all time. We were pretty close. We thought maybe third or fourth on the list. It's a great list. You've got Bobby and Barry Bonds with over 1,000. The Griffeys with 782. The Alous with 538, and the fielders just 8 behind. Now Prince is going to have to pick up all the slack. But it's an interesting list. And we were stumped on the father-son combo ranking 5th on that list, and you got it.
I forgot already.
458.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Combined home runs. Yeah. Tony and Eduardo Perez. Yeah. Tony, the Hall of Famer. Eduardo, now the hitting coach with the Florida Marlins, as Ricky Weeks is retired for the first time.
Well, I got a feeling before all is said and done, the fielders are going to move up on that list.
I think the Bonds and Griffey 1 and 2, it's not terribly difficult. You just kind of look at the top home run hitters of all time and go, this guy have a dad or a son who played in the big leagues?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Barry did. Bobby was pretty good. And Ken Griffey Jr., yeah, senior, pretty good too. Well, we came up with some interesting father-son combos. They may or may not be anywhere on the list. The Berras, the Boones, the Bells.
Moises and Felipe Alou on that list. Felipe Alou, the answer to another trivia question.
Which is? Do I have to come up with a question?
No.
Is this like Jeopardy?
No.
The answer is Felipe Alou.
Felipe Alou and his brothers
Matty and Moises? Or I'm sorry, Matty and Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All started in the outfield in the same ball game for the San Francisco Giants.
That ball was dropped by Kosuke. Throw to second. Safe. It was close. They almost forced Gallardo. That's a base hit for Morgan.
Well, that's one time that wind blowing in from right field really hurt the Cubs. It knocked down that line drive. It had a lot of top spin, and Kosuke was able to get there and get a glove on it, but the ball just trickled out the webbing. Not able to squeeze that leather around the baseball. And then Kosuke recovers quickly, almost had Gallardo at second base on the force play. Now, Matty Jesus and Felipe Alou all started in the outfield in the same game for the San Francisco Giants.
Braun bounces it foul. They had a cousin, Jose Sosa. Of course, Moises, Felipe's son, and also Mel Rojas, a member of that extended family, a nephew of the Alous.
Of course, the least famous of the Alou brothers rarely got in the lineup. That would be Boog.
But he was honored in song by Ringo Starr.
Yes, he was.
Told him to back up. He was the redhead, right? Yeah. One and one to Ryan Braun. Outside. 2-1.
Somebody once told me there was another Alou brother, Skip Two, but I thought that was a little bit too much of a stretch.
Skip Tomb.
Skip Tomb, yeah.
Yeah. Hammered foul. That is Ricky Williams, and he can't miss him in that, what is it, teal sweater, running back for the Miami Dolphins. He's on a rooftop across Sheffield, dressed up for the occasion. Ricky Williams was an 8th round pick of the Philadelphia Phillies back in the mid-90s. Oh, it gets away from Castro. Everybody safe. Baker's throw was low. Castro couldn't get it, and the bases are loaded. Well, the Cubs have made 3 bad throws tonight.
The double plays are all about rhythm and timing, and the rhythm was off this right away. Jeff Baker had to reach far to his left to get that ball. By the time he got it back in his throwing hand, Castro is out of rhythm as he comes across the bag at second. You see he's kind of leaning to his left, but has to reach back to his right and down to try to get that throw.
You'll have to tell Mike Quade he knows you cannot give this Milwaukee offense more chances. You make that error with Prince Fielder coming up and nowhere to put him. The error now has been changed. It was originally given to Baker. Now it's been charged to Castro. I don't know about that one. Let's put it this way. There was an error on the play.
Yeah, it wasn't a great throw, but I think in the estimation of Bob Rosenberg, the official score, it was a catchable throw. But once again, because the rhythm of the play was all messed up right from the get-go, Starlin Castro was already across the bag at second, had to reach back to try to get the throw.
Big pitch here for Wells. A 2-0 to Fielder. Fly to left. Gallardo ready to tag, and DeWitt will just toss it into Castro. It's a sac fly for the National League RBI leader, Prince Fielder. That's number 59.
Hopefully Randy Wells will be able to escape without any more runs scoring in this inning, and you hope the fact that Giovanni Gallardo had to circle the bases here in this inning might take something out of him when he goes back out to the mound in the next half inning.
First and second, it's Casey McGee. Ball 1. Got an RBI on a fielder's choice in the 3rd inning. Rodrigo Lopez just got up in the bullpen.
And then last year when Casey McGee hit 285 and drove in 104 runs, you could almost book it that he was going to hit the ball to right field in this situation. Seems like every time he came to the plate against the Cubs with a runner at second or third, he'd find a way to hit that ball to the opposite field.
Both runners go. No throw by Soto on the called strike. It's a double steal.
Giovanni Soto had a bluff pickoff at second base on Nyjer Morgan. The first pitch of this sequence to Casey McGee, and then the Brewers take off on the next pitch.
Down by Soto. 2-1.
You'd like to think this is another one of those pitch around situations for Randy Wells, because he has not been close after the first pitch of this sequence.
Well, the no-hit bid is over for Justin Verlander. Orlando Cabrera with a one-out single in the eighth. Detroit still leads 4-0. Down the line and foul by about a foot, maybe a foot and a half. Two bouncer, Starlin Castro, and that's the inning. A hit, an error, a walk to start it, then a sac fly later. It's 3-0 Milwaukee.
Bell open 1 a.m. or later.
And the look as we check out the Menards grounds crew. Not quite Pamela Anderson washing her car, but
not quite.
It works. That just reminded me of that, you know.
Oh boy,
3-0 Milwaukee. Swing and a miss. There's a 1-1 to Ramirez. It's low. Some thoughts I should just keep to myself.
Now I'm distracted.
Yeah, that's sent everyone scattering the Cubs dugout. Three and two, the count. Pena and DeWitt will also bat in this inning. If anybody gets on, Giovanni Soto. Fly ball the other way. It's Corey Hart who took a look back. He'll get it before reaching the warning track. 1 out. Watch the Cubs host the Brewers this Thursday at 1:20 at Wrigley Field. Be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive Cubs sunglasses, compliments of Pepsi. For more info and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. And of course, after Corey Hart makes a catch, you got to do a promo about sunglasses.
Sure. And it is night. I don't think any players are wearing their sunglasses right now, but if anybody would choose to wear glasses at night, it would be Corey Hart.
Pena struck out his first time. Great story in the Orange County Register about an Angel fan named Mike Langdon. Lives in Irvine, California. He was a former season ticket holder for the Angels, and this past Saturday he was going to meet up with a friend who had tickets in a suite. Well, when he got to the ballpark, he got his tickets, he got to the suite, he realized he was in the personal luxury box of the owner, Artie Moreno. And after a few minutes, he started to look around and thought, something's not right. I don't belong here. So he met the owner and said, Mr. Moreno, and he said, call me Artie. He said, I don't think I really belong here. And, didn't really get an answer. Well, found out that his tickets got mixed up with former Angel left-hander Mark Langston. So Mike Langdon, Mark Langston. But they didn't kick him out. They let him stay. And he got to hang out not only with Artie Moreno and Mark Langston and Clyde Wright, but he met and talked with Reggie Jackson. It's a pretty neat story. Check it out on ocregister.com. I guess wrong or close enough name, right place, right time, and the owner was very nice to him.
I thought the upstroke was going to be that Mark Langston ended up standing outside the ballpark and couldn't get in.
No, he got in.
Okay.
But they let Mike Langdon stay.
Oh, what a good mistake.
Pop foul by Pena. And I think Artie Moreno at one point said, hey, what's your name? He said, Mike. He said, oh, you're one of Mark's friends. And he was like, yeah. Thinking to himself, who's Mark? He was with his friend Brad, but he thought, well, I'll just go with it. Full count, 3-2. It really is the kind of PR you can't pay for if you're 13. An honest mistake by somebody in the ticket office, but it worked out well and painted Artie Moreno in a great light. Pena takes the walk.
That's pretty much been the story of Artie Moreno's ownership of that team, going back to its inception. He has really endeared himself to the fans out there in Southern California.
Angels right now under 500 at 32 and 36. They're in third place, just 4.5 out in the West. Ball one to Blake DeWitt. See, Gallardo really opens up from the stretch before he comes to the set position. Gives him a better look at that runner at first as he now steps off.
I think if Blake DeWitt reaches base here, you may see the activity restarted in that Cubs bullpen. Rodrigo Lopez was throwing in the last inning. But as we creep closer and closer to that 9 spot in the lineup with an opportunity to score some runs, I'm sure Mike Quade would go to his bench and put the team on the board.
Three and one on Blake DeWitt. Looks like 2. There's 1. Save. DeWitt beat it out. He was helped by the fact that he didn't hit it that hard.
And a very deliberate turn up the middle by the Brewers. That high chopper, as you said, gets to Betancourt rather slowly, and by the time Ricky Weeks gets to second base to cover the bag, and then the underhanded throw on to first base gives Blake DeWitt just enough time to beat it out at first.
Soto takes a curve for a strike. Well, it's funny how a guy like Gallardo, because he throws hard, low to mid 90s, he can make an 80-mile-an-hour curveball look like 70. Right back at 94, 0-2. The kick and the pitch. Soto could not hold it. Call made by Ed Hickox, and the inning comes to an end. 5 strikeouts for Gallardo, carries a 3-0 lead into the 5th.
If you're the 500th texter, you can win 5 $5 footlong subs from Subway. Randy Wells will go back to work. He'll face the bottom of the Brewers order. Corey Hart followed by Yuniesky Betancourt and Jonathan Lucroy. Hart trying to bunt his way on. Fouls off that first pitch.
3 runs for Milwaukee, 1 unearned run. Cubs have committed 3 errors tonight. White Sox and Twins were rained out at Target Field tonight. No makeup date has been set. And it's a final in Detroit. The Tigers now game up in the Central 4-0 over the Indians. Justin Verlander, 9 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts. 118 pitches as he got his 8th win. Called strike 3 to get Corey Hart.
Good change up that time. Good location on that outside part of the plate. Just at the bottom of the kneecaps. Can't really blame Corey Hart for taking that pitch. Nothing good can come when you swing at a changeup on the outside corner with some downward movement.
Ground ball, and it shoots past Ramirez. Betancourt with a base hit. He's 2 for 3. Watch Comcast Sportsnet game replays on demand with Xfinity TV from Comcast. Don't miss the action. Call 1-800-XFINITY today. In the dirt ball, 1 to Lucroy. Quick check on Betancourt.
Betancourt does not run much. He's attempted only 2 stolen bases all year. He's been caught both times. You see that a lot around baseball. A middle infielder who shows considerable range defensively, covers a lot of ground in the case of Betancourt on the left side of the infield, but it just doesn't translate into base stealing speed. As we talked about Gallardo not being your typical pitcher when he's in that batter's box, and because of that, I think Ron Renicky would be tempted to play a little hit and run here with Lucroy and Betancourt. I mentioned Betancourt does not really have base stealing speed. Lucroy handles the bat pretty well, but normally you wouldn't do that with your number 8 hitter, the pitcher in the on-deck circle. But because Gallardo swings the bat so well, I think Ron Renicky views him as another hitter in the lineup.
Now, we had a shot of Renicky. We saw one sign. He put his hand to his chest out toward Ed Cedar at third base. Just based on what I saw, that looked like a take sign. 3-0, and the hitter took. Now, it could be wrong, as Betancourt does take off on the 3-1. He's going to have to reverse, and he did not retouch second base.
I don't think he did, no.
And he should be out. It appeared as though he touched second. You have to retouch the bag.
Betancourt was running, looks up, not sure where the ball is, touches the bag there, crosses the bag, and never retouched.
You can't do that.
No.
He should have been out.
And second base umpire, I was watching Ed Rapuano the whole time. He was right on top of the play, looking right at it. I'm not sure what the explanation is why that's not an out.
Well, that will end the inning. Took an extra pitch as they force Betancourt at second. 3-0 Brewers. Cubs haven't had much going tonight against Giovanni Gallardo. Leadoff double by Reed Johnson in the third. It's the only time they've put a runner past first base. Jeff Baker fouls off, 0-1. And the Cubs' second sacker. By the way, with the Yankees coming in this weekend, Ravenswood Event Services is going to host the first ever Wrigleyville block party. It's in the area just adjacent to the ballpark at Clark and Waveland. It'll be an interactive street festival this weekend, early July when the White Sox are here, and then mid-August when the Cardinals come in. A street festival for fans of all ages. It'll be open, free of charge to the public from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. So make sure you stop on by as you head in. It's this weekend against the Yankees. Baker strikes out. And you can also play catch in the outfield, run the bases, practice in the batting cages, or relax in the dugouts of Wrigley Field on Saturday, June 25th. Limited tickets are available for $150 each and include a t-shirt, photograph, baseball, and lunch. All proceeds benefit Chicago Cubs charities. To purchase tickets for Hey Dad, Want to Have a Catch? Go to Cubs.com. Nice backhanded pick by Casey McGee, and he throws out Reed Johnson.
His first AB back in the third inning when he led off with that double. He had Casey McGee drawn in at third and was able to shoot one past him down the line for a double. That time, unfortunately, hit it right at the Brewer third baseman.
The Twins have been playing better lately. We mentioned they got rained out tonight, and Justin Morneau going on the shelf with a sore left wrist. Can't get a break with the injuries. Looks like Joe Mauer may be back soon. Wells hits a high chopper. It's fielded by Betancourt, and he fires a strike to Prince Fielder. A 1-2-3-4 Gallardo. We're off to the sixth. 3-0 Milwaukee.
Takes the mound as the Cubs go head-to-head with the Brewers at Wrigley Field. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Sportsnet Central. Cubs Brewers tomorrow at 7, only on your home for Cubs baseball, Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Randy Wells trailing 3-0 as we get into the sixth. And this unseasonably cool mid-June Tuesday night. One strike on Ricky Weeks. Well, the Nationals are back in their game against the Cardinals. They were down at one point. 6-1. It's now 6-5 St. Louis in the bottom of the seventh.
Nationals have to be happy. They have their all-star third baseman Ryan Zimmerman back after 58 days on the disabled list.
With an abdominal injury. Way up in the air off the bat of Weeks. Starlin Castro right near second base.
Giovanni Soto with a quick reminder to Randy Wells to get over and cover first base in the event of either a ground ball to the right side or another bunt attempt by Nyjer Morgan. Shows bunt, but takes a fastball outside for ball one.
Morgan has been on the DL twice already this season. Brewers got him from Washington in late March in exchange for an infielder, Cutter Dykstra. That's Lenny's son, correct? And cash considerations. Pulled to deep right. Kosuke will get back there and make the catch, helped out by that wind. Two outs, it's Ryan Braun. It's going to get a little cold here, partner.
You said unseasonably cool evening earlier. I don't even know what seasonal is here anymore. It might be 100 tomorrow and 40 the day after.
Well, I would guess by June 14th, temperatures in the low 60s, upper 50s, probably not terribly common. Nice play to get the out. As Wells throws out Ryan Braun. Put it on the jacket on as we get ready for the bottom of the sixth. 3-0 Milwaukee.
Put another.
Yankees this Friday here at Wrigley. Game time 1:20, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans get an exclusive limited edition Andrew Kashner bobblehead doll. Compliments of PNC. For more information, visit Cubs.com. One ball, one strike on Kosuke. 0 for 2. Started the night, and he's been leading the major league leadoff hitters in on base average for a while at 406. Now, Bob, we checked the average temperature around this time of the year in Chicago, upper 70s. So yes, I think we can say unseasonably cool tonight as we throw another log on the fire. Wouldn't call it cold, I would call it cool.
That's cool. A lot more comfortable for the players down on the field who are moving around than it is for the people who are just sitting and watching.
Kosuke couldn't take the bat off his shoulder, and he's caught looking. 7 punch-outs for Gallardo.
Talk about the 2 different breaking balls. He throws more curveballs to the left-handed hitters, more sliders to the righties, but that time at 85, I have to assume that was a hard slider right in the middle of the strike zone. Kosuke caught looking. Gallardo's having a little trouble picking up the signs from his catcher, Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy just leaned over after that quick timeout and kind of dipped the back of his fingers into the chalk around the batter's box. We see some catchers put tape around their fingers for night games. Other catchers put white out on their fingernails to make it a little bit easier for the pitcher to see the signs. Sometimes the easiest thing is just do what Lucroy did. Reach your hand down there, dip it in some of that chalk, makes it a little bit easier for the pitcher to see your fingers. That's what you don't want to do. Extend those signs way down below where it is easier for the pitcher to see it, but it's also easier for that third base dugout to see the signs. When you get your fingers down there too far, you can actually see them from the side in the dugout.
1-1 curve in the dirt, and Castro offered at it to make it 1-2. Fouled into the upper deck. A little bit later on, Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker, the longtime voice of the Brewers, will handle the 7th inning stretch. There's Ueck.
Yeah, he uses his own special lyrics for "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at that very sensitive part of the song.
Working with Corey Provis, former Cubs radio broadcaster. And Castro chases. Lucroy will fire to fielder. Two away, and it brings up Ramirez.
Third baseman
Gallardo's been on his game tonight. 1-1. Eduardo Nunez starting at short tonight for the Yankees, with Derek Jeter on the disabled list. Nunez 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run, and the Yankees lead the Rangers 9-4 in the 6th. McSwisher with a home run in that one, is 6th. CC Sabathia pitching tonight, so it's like he'll go Sunday night against Randy Wells. Ball 4. Ramirez takes a second walk issued by Gallardo. The Nats have tied the Cardinals 6-6, and they're still batting in the bottom of the 7th. 4 runs in that inning to tie it up. Tough night for Miguel Batista. So far charged with 4 runs in 2/3 of an inning in relief of Jaime Garcia.
Got a wind beater right here. We need something to get the fans involved in this game. Giovanni Gallardo has just taken the crowd right out of this one, not to mention the Cubs bats.
Fly down the right field line, and it's going to be foul and not a play.
I think we both thought Carlos Pena hit a home run in the ball game last night to left center field. Drive that Ryan Braun had some problems with right out in front of the ivy. Looked like it was going to get out of here off the bat. Still ended up dropping for a double, but man, he crushed that ball to left center field.
Long-time second baseman Ronnie Belliard is going to retire. After tonight's game, he's playing at AAA in the Phillies organization with Lehigh Valley. He has announced one more game and he's going to hang it up. Played 82 games with the Dodgers last year. Former Milwaukee Brewer. And he was an all-star in 2004. He had a pretty good career. Almost 1,500 games. He hit 273.
Pretty solid ball player in his heyday.
Ronnie Belliard will retire as an Iron Pig.
It's the kind of thing you dream about when you're a kid, playing wiffle ball in the backyard.
Iron Pigs win. Iron Pigs win. Called strike 3. He strikes out 3 in the inning, 9 on the night. And we'll go to the 7th. 3-0 Milwaukee. Comcast Sportsnet. White Sox slugger Frank Thomas joins pregame live. Cubs GM Jim Hendry, Chairman Tom Ricketts will join us in the booth. The best coverage of the Crosstown Classic is on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Randy Wells is done. 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. And it's veteran righty Rodrigo Lopez here in the 7th.
Lopez been doing a nice job out of the bullpen. Hopefully his defense will stand up for him a little better than it did for Randy Wells in this ball game. A throwing error by Starlin Castro. And then Randy Wells with an error of his own on a backhanded shovel toss that got away. Kosuke Fukudome with a nice effort for a shoestring catch, just can't hang on to the baseball. And then what should have been a double play was thrown away. The error given to Castro for missing the catch. Also, I think back after that leadoff double by Blake DeWitt in the third inning, the inability for Randy Wells to get down a sacrifice bunt and move him up to third base. So I'm sure Randy Wells not crazy about the way he pitched in the ball game tonight, but a lot of the peripheral things that need to be done well just weren't done tonight.
Lopez with an 0-1. That's low. Fielder one away from tying Jeff Jenkins for second on the all-time franchise home run list. Robin Yount is the leader. So it's AL and NL Brewers franchise history, starting in the American League as the Seattle Pilots in 1969. They moved to Milwaukee the following year and went to the NL back in '98. Leadoff walk to Fielder. Here comes Casey McGee. Well, the bottom of the seventh in Washington has lasted about 2 hours, it seems. They've scored again, and the Nationals now lead 7-6. They again were down 5 runs in this game just a couple of innings ago. Cardinal bullpen giving it up. McGee without a hit, he has knocked in a run. That was back in the third inning. On a fielder's choice. Kick and a pitch. Big swing in on his hands, and he fouled it back. Brewers got a couple in the third, one more in the fourth.
And it'd certainly be understandable if Rodrigo Lopez pitches very carefully here to Casey McGee. 3 previous at bats, and McGee has singled, doubled, and homered against Rodrigo Lopez. Get him to chase that slider off the outside corner. That time McGee was able to hold up.
And a base hit into right. That pitch was up. McGee has his first hit of the game. 2 on, nobody out.
Tomahawks that high fastball up around the letters, way out of the strike zone. For me, Casey McGee, he's got considerable power, no question about it, but he's always been more of a situational hitter. If you give him a hole on the right side of the infield, he'll look for a pitch to drive that way. You play the infield back with a runner at third, he'll hit a ground ball up the middle of the field to get that guy on the plate.
Corey Hart's been an all-star twice. He takes that pitch just outside. Last year he led all right fielders with 102 RBIs and finished second with 31 home runs. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Corey Hart caught looking at a changeup from Randy Wells in his last at bat. This time chases a pitch well down and out of the strike zone from Rodrigo Lopez, setting up the possibility of an inning-ending double play here.
Marco Estrada is up in the Brewers' pen. With a watchful eye of bullpen coach Stan Kiles, fouled back. Milwaukee out hitting the Cubs tonight 9-2. Last night they were held to just 4 hits and no runs. There it is. Outside corner, 2-2. Lopez came over from Atlanta in a minor league deal back on May 26th. The following day, he was selected from the minor leagues. Giving up 1 earned run in relief. Ramirez will step on third, throw to first, double play. Here comes Bob Uecker with a stretch.
Taking me out to the ball game. The Hall of Fame voice of the Brewers, Bob Uecker.
All right, let me hear you, folks. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. I'll root for the Brewers. You do the same for the Cubs. So it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Thank you very much. I'm doing good. I'm happy and back healthy and able to do what I love doing.
Blake DeWitt against Giovanni Gallardo here in the bottom of the 7th. Are you swimming these days?
I'm back swimming every day, and it's sometimes a little hard on the road, but and Lake Michigan is a little cold at this time of the year down here. So, but yeah, at home at Miller Park, got a nice Swimex there, and on the road at different hotels, I get out and swim. I can't run anymore and do that stuff, so yeah, swimming's what I do.
And as you know, having been in this baseball life for so long, you got to stay in shape. It's not easy with all the travel.
But I enjoy it too. I mean, like runners love running. I enjoy swimming, and I've got to the point where I can, stand underwater for 15, 20 minutes at a time and really enjoy it.
That explains a lot.
Till somebody wakes me up and pulls me up. It's
a good way to meet lifeguards. Yeah.
Have you ever done any scuba diving or anything?
Yeah, I have, as a matter of fact. I have done that. It's fun.
You don't get freaked out by exotic fish and things with
No, I don't.
teeth?
As a matter of fact, I'm not real happy about eels and stuff like that, but I've done it a couple times over in Hawaii, and it was fun. It's if you get in the right place and you have the right people with you, it's pretty nice.
3-2 the count. And he went after the high one. Boy, Bob, early in the game, we saw the Cubs, a pretty aggressive bunch in general, take a lot of fastballs from Gallardo right down the middle. And my partner was talking about, with the way his motion is, maybe guys don't pick up the ball.
He's it's not the first time that, he's worked a game like he's working here tonight. I was telling Bob just a minute ago, Lenny, that the thing.
It's deep. And Soto with a home run. They're on the board, 3-1. His second career homer off Gallardo, number 5 on the year. And now a 2-run game.
I was telling Bob earlier that the thing that makes Gallardo so tough is his change. I mean, he throws in the mid to low 90s. Pretty good breaking ball, but his changeup is really a big pitch for him. And we were talking about Dempster last night, Lenny, about how well he's done against Milwaukee. And I was talking with.
It'll be caught by Hart.
Talking with Ron Renicky tonight before the game, and Bob, he told me he looked at the film of yesterday's game and he couldn't believe how many bad pitches our hitters swung at. But that's what he kept doing. I mean, and you've sat back there, you know what it is. If they keep swinging at him, you keep calling them and you keep sitting out there. And for the most part, Gallardo is pretty good. I mean, and moving that looked like a high fastball on Soto, and he hit it. But this guy's pretty good. He got pretty good stuff.
He's pretty good. Hey, 2 outs in the inning. I wanted to ask you about our late friend Ron Santo, who passed away over the winter, and I know you guys were very close.
Yep, I miss him. I really do. And Pat called me and told me the night that it happened, and it was a tough time. And I know tough for you guys here and tough for Cub fans. And Keith Moreland working over there with Pat now, and a good guy, and things are going to go well here. But you can't help but miss a guy like Ron Santo.
And you always made him laugh, and he made you laugh, too, which is not necessarily easy to do. You're a tough critic. Great to see you, Bob, as always.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you, Bobby. Good seeing you, pal. Thank you.
Is Giovanni Soto putting the Cubs on the board in the 7th.
Boy, the high speed there was Giovanni Soto's bat speed, getting on top that 94-mile-an-hour fastball up around the letters on the inside part of the plate. Good quick swing by Gio, resulting in a home run to the left field bleachers.
Lucroy will lead it off against Rodrigo Lopez. Craig Counsell's going to hit for Gallardo as Ron Renneke will turn to his bullpen for the final 6 outs with a lead. Ricky Weeks also due up here in this inning.
Gallardo does have one complete game, a shutout. His second start of the season against the Atlanta Braves, went 9, gave up only 2 hits in shutting down the Braves in that game.
One pitch. It's a strike. Southpaw James Russell is up in the Cubs bullpen. Another big crowd tonight. 39,151 watching the Cubs and the Brewers. Missed again, and it's full 3-2. And lead off walk.
Lopez just trying to keep everything away from Lucroy throughout the entire sequence. Pound away at that outside corner at the knees.
It's going to be Russell to face the pinch hitter Craig Counsell, who may simply try to lay down a bunt. We've got some other lefties possibly coming up later this inning in Morgan and Fielder. Tony Campana will come in along with Russell, and we'll have the Honda call to the pen. 3-1 Milwaukee in the 8th. Call to the pen, and it's left-hander James Russell to face pinch hitter Craig Counsell. Tony Campana in to play center. And he'll lead off the bottom of the 8th. Quick check on Lucroy.
Not only a check on Lucroy at first, but also an opportunity perhaps for Counsell to tip what he's doing at the plate. No sign of a bunt on that pickoff attempt to first.
And he bunts it foul.
Just stabs at that pitch as it was working its way off the outside corner. Bunts it foul when touched by Giovanni Soto.
Counsell has some claims to fame, and they're pretty impressive, being a big part of huge Game 7 rallies to win the World Series with the Florida Marlins in '97, with your Diamondbacks in 2001. But another claim to fame, not quite as sexy, but he's the Brewers' franchise leader in pinch hits with 37. And if Craig were sitting between us, he would say, "That means I'm old, Len."
He doesn't look old, and he doesn't play old. Hasn't seen as much playing time this year as he has in seasons past for the Brewers. Had some starts at third, short, and second. Most of his time, however, coming off the bench this year.
40-year-old Counsell bunts. Ramirez will get it to Baker. That will go 5-4 on the sacrifice.
Third sack bunt of the season for Craig Counsell. Deadens that ball down the third baseline. Ramirez's only play is to go across the diamond for the sure out at first.
We will see the major league debut of Chris Carpenter, just brought up from Double-A Tennessee. Honda call to the pen, 3-1 Brewers. .6'4" right-hander Chris Carpenter. Have a circuitous route to get to the big leagues this year. Triple-A, Double-A, and now the majors. A lot better at Tennessee than he was at Iowa.
Pitching in relief, you'll probably just see a two-pitch mix from Chris Carpenter. A hard sinker, a hard slider. The slider with a lot of downward movement when he stays on top of the ball.
Ricky Weeks into the left field corner. That'll send Lucroy to the plate. Weeks with a double, his third hit tonight, and it's 4-1. They get that run right back, and it will be charged to Lopez.
First pitch fastball inside part of the plate, very similar to the location of the first hit of the ball game. Randy Wells challenging him inside with a fastball. Weeks did the same thing, roped it into left field for a base hit.
Here's Morgan with one out. He swings and misses. That'll be foul.
Well, Ricky Weeks looks like he wants to run out there at second base. Before that last pitch, Starlin Castro snuck in behind him a little bit, forced him to stop his leadoff. Trying to get a walking lead on Chris Carpenter. Good move. Just make him stop.
It was at 98 miles an hour on our gun. I looked at the stadium readout, 99. Carpenter really scuffled with his command at AAA. 17 walks in under 20 innings. He walked 4 in 12 1/3 at AA.
You mentioned the 98, 99 mile an hour fastball, and Nyjer Morgan has done the rookie Chris Carpenter some favors here. Not one pitch has been in the strike zone yet, but the count is 1-2.
Swing and a miss. He got him. And a power slider. First career strikeout for Chris Carpenter.
A good downer slider. Some guys throw a slider that's very flat, sweeps across the strike zone. Other guys, especially when you get on top and get that good rotation, that slider breaks straight down.
Carpenter, since 08, his first year in the Cubs system, had been a starter almost exclusively. This year, working out of the bullpen exclusively. Drafted 3 times. In 04 by Detroit in the 7th round. In 07 by the Yankees in the 18th. And then finally signed with the Cubs after going in the 3rd round in 08. The 0-2 pitch to Ryan Braun is low. Well, the team he just left, the Tennessee Smokies, have a magic number of 2 for clinching a first half North Division championship in the Southern League. I mentioned Daytona won its first half with a win last night. Cubs have been out hit 10-3 and they trail 4-1 on the run board. Well, it's a ground ball to Castro, and the inning is over. Carpenter in his major league debut gives up an inherited run. It's the next two guys. It's 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the Milwaukee bullpen tonight. You got the game-winning run off Cameron Lowe in the 8th inning. In game 1 tonight, it's Marco Estrada looking with a 3-run lead.
Estrada has held opponents to a .231 batting average. He'll feature a fastball in the low 90s, a curveball, a good straight changeup. Need a runner.
Campana pushes it foul. There it is. Swings and misses. Will look like a changeup.
Good changeup. Estrada has a really nice one.
Fielder will flip, and they just get Campana. Well, Estrada's heart had to be racing 1,000 miles an hour. He knew he had to scamper over there quickly.
Campana ends up hooking that ball back to the right side. Probably would have been a lot better served hitting the ground ball to the left side where he has a chance to leg it out. As it is a foot race to the bag against the Brewers pitcher, and Estrada narrowly gets there ahead of Campana.
Fukudome cranks one into center. Morgan will have to play that one. Well, he won't at all. It gets wedged in between the vines and the bottom part of the basket. That's a double for Fukudome.
Well, that ball carried a long way, Len. We've talked about that wind blowing in from right field all night long, knocking balls down, hit in that direction. Kosuke goes to straightaway center and really clubbed it. Morgan started back on that ball like he thought he could catch it. It just continued to sail, ends up over his head and then up into the vines in the basket area for a ground rule double.
Estrada's season last year ended in late May with right shoulder fatigue. As he works to Starlin Castro, strike one. Estrada, the former Washington National, 40th career appearance. Going with a Dave Bush look with those pant bottoms. And a similar build to the former Brewer. That's out in the left center. Going to split the gap. Kosuke's in. Castro to second base. He's going to have to stop there as the Cubs get back-to-back doubles, and the tying run will come up. It's 4-2.
Outside of Soto's home run, two of the best hit balls in the game by the Cubs here, back-to-back. Fukudome with a double to center, and now Castro with a line drive double to the gap in left center. He crushed that ball.
Lefty Zach Braddock is up. Pena's now on deck. You have Ramirez digging in. So kind of a somewhat similar situation to last night, even though Pena was brought in as a pinch hitter. Here's a pitch. Ball one. It is a final. The Nationals came all the way back and beat the Cardinals 8-6. Scored the final 7 runs of the game, including a big 6-run seventh. Ramirez late on the fastball, 1-1.
Only one previous at bat for Ramirez against Marco Estrada, and that resulted in a home run.
Driven deep to left for Ramirez. It's gone! He's tied it up at 4.
Two at bats, 2 homers. Aramis Ramirez officially owns Marcos Estrada. Right where he likes it, down on the inner third of the plate, just drops the bat head on it. A line drive home run just into the front row in left field.
It's going to be Zach Braddock coming in as it's a brand new ball game. 3 runs here in the 8th. Still only 1 out. Ramirez starting to heat up with that home run swing. 4-4. It's a Honda call to the pen. Cubs have rallied late with 3 big ones. And here's lefty Zach Braddock against Carlos Pena.
See the numbers at the bottom. Left-handers hitting only 118 against Zach Braddock this season. It's a 2 for 17, although one of the hits was a home run.
Ramos Ramirez starting to drive the ball out of the ballpark. He's closing in on a milestone. It was his 294th career home run. He now has 3 homers and 8 RBIs over his last 7 games. And the closer Carlos Marmol is up for the Cubs. Back-to-back lefties due up here, Pena and DeWitt. Ooh. Good look at that pitch. A little bit up, and he fouled it back to the screen. 0-1.
What you're going to see from Braddock. First pitch fastball up. Got the swinging strike from Carlos Pena. Comes right back with the slider. Basically just a 2-pitch mix coming out of the bullpen.
Other finals, the Mets beat the Braves 4-3 in Atlanta. John Neese over Jair Jurgens. K-Rod got his 19th save. Over in the AL, Tampa Bay shut out Boston 4-0. James Shields went the distance. A 5-hit complete game shutout. He beat Tim Wakefield. Bounce to Weeks. And into the Red Sox 9-game winning streak. Take the Cubs with you wherever you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Chicago Cubs game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Cubs.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Blake DeWitt, a foul strike. Fielder, McGee, and Hart in the 9th. You've got Marmol ready. And now 1-1. Did he go to his mouth? An automatic ball call by the home plate umpire, Alfonso Marquez. You can go to your mouth on the mound, you just can't do it while you're on the pitching rubber. And when you do go to your mouth like Braddock just did, you have to wipe it off.
that was kind of a silly rule. The way it used to be, the pitcher had to step off the dirt area of the mound if he wanted to put his hand near his mouth. So guys would stand with one foot on the grass and the other foot hovering over the dirt as they licked their fingers and then ran up the mound to get on the rubber.
I guess part of the silliness of it is what is putting your fingers in your mouth and then wiping it off. Seemingly canceling the whole idea of it in the first place.
You know, some guys have turned it into an art form, Len, where they will lick their fingers like that and then wipe the palm of their hand down their pants leg, giving the illusion that they're wiping their fingers off when in reality they didn't.
You know me, I think of all the weird scenarios. How about Game 7, bottom of the ninth, World Series, 3-2, tie game. Pitcher does that, and it's it. It's over. Ball 4. It could happen.
I don't want to think about that. Ooh, what an ugly way to lose a ball game.
And the World Series.
Not to mention Game 7 of the World Series.
Here's a pitch. A check, and he went. Oh, DeWitt could not help himself. Brian O'Nora made the call. And the inning is over, but the Cubs get 3-2 on a home run by Ramirez. A line drive to the seats in left. 4-4 to the ninth.
On defense, with 2 outs in the inning, Ryan Braun trying to bunt his way on base ahead of Prince Fielder. Randy Wells stays with the tough hop there. A lot of English on that bunt. Tried to get away from him, but able to make the barehanded play and throw on to first for the out.
Lou Montañez is part of a double switch. Will come in. He'll hit 8. Carlos Marmol goes into the 5th spot. Blake DeWitt is out. And Prince Fielder leading off the Milwaukee ninth. They matched up last night. Fielder walked. And ball 1 outside. 4-4. A slider. Strike. 1-1. Fielder has walked already 4 times in the series. Hasn't done much against Marmol. That's a strike. 2-2. Pulled into the corner. Foul.
Ooh.
There's very little room in that corner. If it lands on the ground, 95 out of 100 times it's going to be fair, but that one was foul.
A real wristy swing that time from Prince Fielder. I think he was fooled by that pitch and just kind of flipped at it with his hands. Still drove it well down the right field line. Fortunately, foul.
Ready for another 2-2, and he stays alive. Blue Jays just walked off on an Adam Lind home run in the bottom of the 11th to beat the Orioles 6-5. Ooh. Does he take it? 3-2. Let's see where it was.
That's one thing that separates Prince Fielder from a lot of power hitters. He's got a great eye for the strike zone.
And Mike Quaddy has been ejected. He's going to get his money's worth now.
Tries to go to that backdoor slider. You see Gio reaching across and then tries to pull it back to the corner. The call was right, but the frustration maybe on the check swing going back to end the last half of the 8th inning there. Blake DeWitt, in the estimation of the Cubs dugout, and Mike Quaddy, they don't feel that he swung at that pitch because right after he came out of the dugout, he pointed to Brian O'Nora and flashed the safe sign before going to home plate.
That's hit well. Campana, though, is there. We're not really hurting fly balls at the moment. It has died down considerably. Big first out.
That pitch elevated to Prince Fielder. May have gotten down near the trademark just a little bit, but this is a guy that doesn't need to square the ball up to hit it out of the park, and only Campana able to square up and make the play right in front of the warning track.
Fastball missing to Casey McGee. Pittsburgh beat the Astros 1-0 in Houston. Jeff Karstens over Bud Norris. Hunter Pence went 0 for 4, so his 23-game hitting streak is now over. Pirates improving to 500. 33 up, 33 down. 2-2. Corey Hart on deck. And a base hit. 1-out single for Casey McGee. And he'll be removed for a pinch runner. See that slider in a good spot for Casey McGee.
Not like he broke his bat. Still had enough to get it up the middle of the field for a base hit, and now McGee will be taken down for the speedy Carlos Gomez. Definitely a stolen base threat. 14 out of 15 on the season.
First appearance of Gomez in the series. He's at first base. There he goes. Here's the throw. Way late.
Great jump by Gomez. Great acceleration. He's up to top speed after about 2 or 3 steps towards second base. Nothing Giovanni Soto could do that time. Once again, with a runner at second base, just make him stop. Don't let him get a walking lead where he can accelerate and try to steal third base.
Florida Marlins spiral continues. 9-1. They got thumped by the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park. Cole Hamels beat Chris Volstad. Howard and Utley. Swing and a miss. 2 down. Dom Brown hit 2 home runs tonight. Jimmy Rollins went deep.
Perfectly located slider once again from Carlos Marmol.
Here's Betancourt. Betancourt with 2 hits tonight. 1 last night. Very aggressive swinger. Two and 0. Lucroy, the catcher, on deck. A base hit to the outfield, no doubt, will give the Brewers a lead with Gomez ready to go on any contact with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. He waves at a slider.
Thought he was going to get a fastball in that 2-0 count. Geared up for the heater, and Carlos Marmol dropped that slider right on the outside corner for the swinging strike.
Ramirez backing up. The throw to first in the dirt. Pena digs it out. They get out of the inning. So Marmol with a scoreless ninth and a big defensive play to keep the Brewers right where they are. 4-4.
end that half of the inning. Ramirez kind of gets crossed up, has to back up a step or two to make the play, knows he has to rush his throw and lets it fly to Carlos Pena, who once again makes a great play at the other end. That's a tough short hop. He picks it out of the dirt. Cubs maintain the tie.
Josh Wilson comes in after McGee was lifted for the pinch runner. Wilson will play third. And former Cub veteran LaTroy Hawkins will do the pitching and try to get this game into extra innings. Hawkins coming back from right shoulder surgery. Came off the DL on April 21st. Had surgery in late August of last year. Hawkins from Gary, Indiana. And he faces Giovanni Soto. Ball one. Not the same roster per se, but since LaTroy left the Cubs, his former team has kind of had his number. Here's a pitch. 2-0. He is 0-4 with a 7.20 career ERA against the Cubs in 25 appearances in his career. That's a strike.
Now, Hawkins has given up a hit an inning this year. Doesn't strike out as many batters as he used to, but he's only surrendered one earned run in 15 1/3 innings pitched.
Soto hits a ground ball. It's backhanded by Betancourt. Pops a mitt and gets the out. Jeff Baker now.
And the wind has really died down from what we saw in the earlier parts of the ball game, what we saw even a couple of innings ago. Shouldn't really be much of a factor, if any, at this point.
Final in the Bronx, the Yankees beat the Rangers 12-4. Sabathia over Ogando. CC Sabathia with his 8th win. Hawkins with an 0-1. Now 1-1. Still throws pretty hard. Will turn 39 this coming December.
His average fastball this year, according to Fangraphs, sitting right at 92 miles an hour. Also throws a slider and a curveball and an occasional changeup.
Here's a pitch. Fought off foul. 1-2. Were being shut out through 6 innings. They were down 3-0 into the 7th. Soto hit a home run. The Brewers answered back with a run in the top of the 8th. But then the Cubs scored 3 runs to tie it up. Now we're in the 9th and the 1-2 to Baker. Another grounder to Betancourt. It'll be up to Lou Montañez. What'd you say about Randy Wells' recent starts?
Shouldn't have said it. His last 2 times out, the game has gone into extra innings. it's up to Lou Montañez to make sure that doesn't happen.
I think Lou is due for his first home run as a Cub.
Very limited playing time for Montañez, but he's put together some good at bats. He doesn't look overmatched whatsoever at the plate. Good take there on a slider just off of the outside corner.
Ball and 2 strikes. Jeff Samardzija is up in the Cubs bullpen. And we will go to the 10th. On appeal, Montañez went around. Acting manager Pat Listash making the call as Jeff Samardzija will start the 10th. 4-4 after 9. Jerky all season long. Feed your wild side. Jeff Samardzija with a 1-2-3-8 last night, and he got the win, his 4th of the season against 2 defeats. His responsibility has increased with Kerry Wood now on the disabled list. Jonathan Lucroy, Josh Wilson, Ricky Weeks for the Brewers here in the 10th. High for ball 1. Up and in for ball 2.
He just beat Lucroy that time with a 92-mile-an-hour heater right down the middle of the plate on a 2-0 count. Shows you Jeff's got a little late life on that fastball.
Right now, partner, it's a battle of Northwest Indiana. You've got Gary native LaTroy Hawkins, who worked the scoreless ninth, and the pride of Valparaiso High School, Jeff Samardzija, on for the Cubs here in the 10th. A lot of Cub fans in Northwest Indiana. We see a lot of them on the Cubs winter caravan in January. Holbert, Merrillville. Lucroy takes a leadoff walk. Here's Josh Wilson, who's had an interesting year to say the least. He's a Brewer now, but he was released by Seattle at the end of spring training. He signed with Arizona on the same day he was released on March 30th. Started the year at AAA Reno. Got brought up by the Diamondbacks on April 25th. A month later, he was claimed off waivers by the Brewers as he bunts. Pena's going to fire to second. They got him. Whew, a little bit of a risk, but Pena really put some mustard on that throw, and they just got Lucroy at second base. So no sacrifice for Wilson.
The ball was bunted hard down that first baseline. Pena had a late charge after holding Lucroy on first base, but fires on in time to Starlin Castro to get the lead runner. That's a big out right there.
Weeks with a 3-hit night. Ball one. Dillard was side armor. Axford is the closer. There goes the runner, Wilson. Here's a throw to second late. So Wilson makes up for the failed sac bunt by stealing second. And that's now 4 steals for the Brewers tonight.
I'd like to see Samardzija be a little more aware of the game situation and the runner over there at first base. Every pitch he delivered, all 3 of them here to Ricky Weeks in the same cadence, the same sequence, giving Wilson a huge jump at first base.
Slider missed. It's 3-1. The Weeks. Starters getting no decisions tonight. Wells went 6, gave up 3 runs, 2 earned. Gallardo went 7 and was terrific. 3 hits, 1 run, struck out 10. But he will not factor into the decision tonight because of a blown save in the 8th. Three and 2. Popped into right. Should be no problem for Kosuke, and Wilson is going to have to stay at second.
Gutsy pitch calling by Giovanni Soto, a guy that's been struggling to find the strike zone with his fastball. Throws a 3-1 slider, comes right back with a 3-2 slider to get that lazy fly ball to right field for the second out of the inning.
Samardzija to Morgan. Strike one. Cue shot back to Samardzija. And they leave a man stranded in scoring position. That'll send us to the bottom of the 10th in a tie game. Magazine of the Chicago Cubs in celebrating its 25th anniversary in 2011. Get the backstage pass to how the Cubs live and play on the field as well as off. Subscriptions start at just $29.95. For more information and to order, visit Cubs.com/Vineline. Tim Dillard, funky righty. Fifth pitcher for Milwaukee, Tony Campana, shoots that one into left, base hit. Picked up by Braun, the throw to second. Safe, a double. Well, that was a good play by Ryan Braun. He actually fielded the ball on the bullpen mound. Kind of an off-balance throw, and Campana still beat it. The winning run is at second with nobody out.
There's a little soft serve floater down that left field line. Tony Campana using his number one asset, his speed. That was a nice play by Ryan Braun, but Campana just too fast as Weeks takes that throw on the infield side of the bag at second, giving Campana a lane to slide safely into second base.
Here's Kosuke, squares to bunt, takes a pitch low and outside, ball one. The winning run is at second with nobody out. Ball 2.
And if Cub fans are wondering, yes, indeed, this is the son of Steve Dillard, who played here in Chicago from 79 to 81. He was an infielder. Tim's dad, Steve, also played with the Red Sox, the Tigers, and the White Sox.
There's the bunt. And the throw will go to first. Dillard didn't even look at third. The winning run now at third base. Sacrifice for Kosuke.
Nicely done by Kosuke Fukudome. Not easy to bunt against a sinker ball pitcher. Not easy to hit against a sinker ball pitcher, but perfectly deadens that ball to the right side, moving Campana up to third base.
The manager's coming out, Ron Renicky. Well, with Campana running, Bob, I mean, he might consider bringing all of his outfielders in. I mean, anything in the outfield with any sort of distance at all off the bat of Castro, and the game is over. And let's see what he decides to do. Ryan Braun, the left fielder, was in on that meeting. So they're going to play with a 5-man infield. That's not a surprise.
Yeah, Braun played some third base when he initially started playing professional baseball. Niger Morgan, Corey Hart, the two remaining outfielders, will split the gaps.
Yeah, this is something Ron Renicky has done on more than one occasion. Bring an outfielder in. Here we go. The pitch. Cubs win! Cubs win! Starlin Castro does it! That's 2 in a row against the first place Brewers.
Castro wastes no time, gets that submarine sinker working back toward the inside part of the plate, stayed inside the ball, drove it to right center field. He's our GMC player of the game for the game-winning RBI. Nice going, kid.
Guess who got himself his second win in as many days? Jeff Samardzija and Luke Stuckmeyer standing by with a guy who scored the game-winning run.
Yeah, and he's quick, too. How are you getting around those bases? When you're heading to second, you were flying out there.
Yeah, I mean, I got a good pitch to hit and put one down the line, and as soon as I got out of the box, I was going, I'm getting to second.
Your speed changes the game. You see how defensively they had to do things. How do you approach a game like that when you're at third base and you know that the team's got to totally adjust to your speed?
I mean, it makes it a lot easier for the guy hitting. I mean, all you really got to do is hopefully put the ball in play, and I should score. I mean, they have to bring 5 infielders in there, and that gives a lot of room in the outfield.
Just talk about this win and what it does for the team. I mean, you get a winning streak going, you got to get 1, then you got to get 2, and to beat the first place team.
Yeah, you just got to go day by day, and we've got 2 in a row, and now we just got to come back tomorrow and try to get another one.
You know, the fundamental things you guys struggled with during the game, but when it counted in the extra innings, you were able to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what you got to do is get a guy on, get him over, and get him in, and we did that perfectly.
All right, go get him tomorrow.
Thank you.
That's 2 guys. They go for 3 tomorrow. Len will send it back up to you.
And Luke, thank you. Bob, the Cubs, the only team in baseball without a 3-game winning streak. You know, I was talking to Darwin Barney today. The atmosphere last night and again tonight, you'd never know the standings. If you just plopped a fan into the seats without knowing anything about the standings, you'd think the Cubs just jumped into first. It's the great thing about this ballpark.
Well, and also about this rivalry. I think the Cubs and the Brewers have really got something good going here, and really good to see the ball club come back after a really tough road trip and play against the first-place team in their own division and win the first 2 games of the series.
So that will wrap up our game coverage. It was a fun one tonight. Stay tuned. More to come on Coors Light post-game live. The final tonight in 10. Cubs 5, the Brewers 4. We're right back here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Central. Carlos Zambrano for the Cubs. Lefty Chris Narveson will go for the Brew Crew. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad. And now for Bob Brenly, Luke Stuckmeyer, and our entire crew. Len Casper sending it over to Pat and Gale in the downtown CSN